Konami Studios. Crossover issue number 3. The biggest book at Image Comics right now? Probably. I mean, it's Donny Cates. He's been crushing everything he's done. Like, who let him have this much free reign just to do whatever he wanted in the comic book industry? He's literally just stealing so much jobs from so many people, just crushing everything he does. It's amazing. This book was really surprising. Not just because there's a big reveal, but just because I'm like, this is actually really weird, you know? It's a weird book. It's good for the most part. There's things I have problems with. It kind of gets cliche at the beginning, but that could be like a meta-narrative thing where it's like, superheroes, but it's fine. I don't know. Like, I'm not like as hyped for this book as other people have been. I am reading it with the intention that it's going to be good. It has been. I'm not complaining about anything that the book's done. I just think maybe there could be more happening. I don't know. It just hasn't gripped me the way other books have gripped me. So it's fine, whatever. I do still think it's a love letter to comic book fans, but I really like the idea that maybe some of the references it's going to make, not every comic book fan's going to know, because we'll get into it at the end here, okay? We'll save that bit for the end, okay? Let's jump into this book. We start with a flashback 5 years ago, and we were talking about the impact of Watchmen, you know? Like, there's a giant squid that teleported into the middle of a city. It killed millions. And kind of how, like, it united the world. But in our real world, it didn't happen that way because people were dying and bad things were happening. And we see, like, a flashback with Elle and her parents have to stay behind because her dad's injured. And you're like, get out of here. Save yourself. We will find you one day. You just have to keep going and keep running. So she bursts through the wall and she ends up out of the dome. And we cut back to the normal day where Elle's talking to Ava and she's covering up her comic book looking tendencies. So she's going to like paint herself, makeup pretty much to look human. And once she does that, Otto knocks on her, is like, hey, you guys almost ready? Like, I got to use the toilet. So, get out of here while we can. And we're going to go on our adventure and get things going. We're going to get you back into the dome. You're like, let's do it. Let's go have fun. Let's get through it. Very curious to see how all this stuff is going to play through. It's kind of becoming an interesting narrative. Then we cut back to stuff with Ryan, and Ryan's with his dad. And this is the kind of the stuff with the book that it feels very cliche to me because, like, of course, like, a kid's going to rebel against his dad who's, like, this high church-going guy. That shit just, I don't know. It doesn't bother me or upset me. I'm just like, I get it. Why do we dedicate so many pages to this? The secret church dad's hiding a sinister secret that the son could have revealed to the cops. And you're like, yeah, probably. But you didn't. So who cares? Like, we shouldn't spend that much time on this unless it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Like, I just get it. Like, the dad's a priest type person. He's all about Jesus. Cool. So Ryan decides, forget it. He looks at his gun again that he got in the last issue, and he decides, I'm just going to run away. And he runs away. He just leaves home. Then we cut back to our group with Otto and Elle and Ava, and they are in the middle of traffic. They're trying to get towards Denver, and they're driving around there like, well, is this plan going to work? Like, this is kind of ballsy. Just like showing up at this random place and seeing if it's going to work, but they have to get the girl back in there, and they're going to find out what's going on. Elle sees something outside and she runs out of the vehicle. It alerts everybody, and she sees that Ryan's trying to hitchhike his way in there, and he sees that Elle notices him, and they get into like a little tiff. We know kind of through like the narration that they're supposed to hook up together or like fall in love at some point, or they were in love at some point. They're just fine, like, please don't be mad at me. And you see like he spills all his comic books out of his bag. I kind of like the angle that this book is presenting comic books as a form of religion, because I guess in a sense, like, your classic idea of religion is sort of an escapism from the harshness of reality, that no matter what happens, there's going to be this place for you when you are like dead that you could feel comfort in. That's kind of like the crux of religion in a sense. I don't know. It's like faith and spiritual stuff, but I don't care. And I guess you could say comic books are kind of like that to some people, where like all your troubles just go away if you believe in these characters enough. Didn't DC Comics do a whole event about that exact idea? I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's like, okay, I like it. Okay, so now Elle's going to see that he's a little bit of a nerd, so she's going to warm up to him a little bit. So she helps him up, and like a police ranger just shows up like, what are you guys doing here? Just like, we're just trying to get by. And all of a sudden, a big mech just breaks through the wall, attacking a giant squid. So are we saying that's the squid from Watchmen? I don't know. But I don't even know what mech this is supposed to be, or is it like a Gundam? Just something. It's this scene, I could see how this is going to make certain people happy. I know nothing about like the Gundam lore or any of like those big suits or anything, so I guess it's kind of cool to see. But the squid and the Gundam thing are fighting, and everyone's starting to freak out. Then there's this magic user just walking between the cars, just like lifting up his hands, and we're supposed to believe it's Doctor Strange, but we know it's not. Like, we just know he isn't. Like, because the girl isn't like big in like the superhero comics, she thinks that this weird bearded man who looks like Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange, but it's obviously not. Knocks on the door, Otto is like, hey, there's the girl. It's like, hey, I need her to come with me, please. And we're going to have to get out of here fast. I got a couple buddies that can help us get out of there, so maybe come with me. And we reveal that this is Dr. Black with a Q, and he's a member of the Paybacks. Now, yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. If the Paybacks are a real creation in Dark Horse Comics, I don't know who the fuck they are. I don't read enough Dark Horse to be like, yeah, the Paybacks, but cool, I guess. That's pretty fun that we're, I guess, referencing that team. So the Paybacks show up in like a van. Dr. Black's trying to get them to come with them, but they're being hesitant. Otto's kind of like, we can't go with this strange magic man who isn't Doctor Strange. That sounds like a bad idea. But it's like pew pew pew, snaps them away. They enter like this weird fortress building, so they're inside this place with the Paybacks, and you see that Ryan's like a huge fan of the Paybacks. He's like, I read all of it. You know, you can like buy the entire Dark Horse series in a collected edition. Like, that's cool, man. I'm happy somebody liked it. They look way too 90s for my interest. Cool. Great seeing them in there. So we're like, all right, we have to get Ava back in there. We can take it from here, you know? Like, we are the Paybacks. We can get Ava back in there. But Elle's kind of like, I kind of think I should come too. Like, I want to find my family. There's a lot of people out there that still need help. We're like, yeah, we know. That's what we're doing. We're trying to help them. And that's kind of fun. So Elle reveals the picture that Ava, like, drew of supposedly Superman, right? And like the Paybacks are like, oh, you mean our guy over here, like our leader? Yeah, he's here. And then you see like, hey, is that a drawing of me? And for a brief second, you're like, there's no way this is going to be Superman. Like, how would he get Superman in this book? That is, you're just like, he can't get Superman. You see like the silhouette of the guy in the boots and the cape, and you're like, hey, that's a pretty good swell drawing of me, except I don't really like capes. And we cut the last page. Yes! This is the best. I laughed so hard when I saw this. We see that the man that Ava drew is not Superman, but it is in fact Madman. You're like, yeah, that's an obscure reference. Yes! Madman, one of those cool characters that nobody's done anything with for a while. He's never been in like the zeitgeist. I really fucking hope this book gets people to go read some Madman, because that character is so fun. Absolutely fun. I love it. That's really cool to me. This is the kind of thing that I'm like, okay, let's do this. We don't need a Doctor Strange or a Superman in here. You can get the Paybacks, get Madman. That's fun shit. We should do that opposed to other stuff. So any like problems I had with the book, I'm like, who gives a shit? Madman's here now. That's really cool. That's fun. I really like that. It was a nice reveal to see Madman in there. But overall, I still think this book is just lacking the right oomph that I need to feel like it's going to make me happy or impressed with it. Either way, I'm still going to read it, and I still enjoyed this book for the most part. The characters are good. The story itself is moving forward at a nice pace. I don't want any more of like the tropey religion stuff with like the zealot father. That bothers me. But we'll have to see what issue 4 brings us. So, it's cool. I hope it's going to be a fun run, and we'll see how long it lasts. I don't imagine this book could go past 30 issues, right? I just don't know. That'd be like that's a lot, I think, you know? I don't know, we'll see. But it's fun, and Madman is a fun character. Everyone should go check him out. So, crossover issue number 3, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.